My personal digital life is a graveyard of ignored emails and forgotten tasks, in sharp contrast to my highly structured work life. I've tried a bunch of productivity apps, but they all end up adding more noise and confusion. So I'm going rogue. I'm taking the popular tier list ranking system and forcing it into my Filofax planner. This is going to be my tier list planner inbox. It's going to help me manage my appointments, tasks, and to-do lists. It's either going to be the most efficient organization system I've built so far, or a complete waste of ink and paper. Let's find out. I try to keep my setup relatively minimal. I have a lot of inserts, but the ones I use regularly are only my week on 2 pages, Filofax pocket inserts, and my own custom habit trackers. I wanted this to be as lazy-proof as possible because, let's face it, I don't necessarily have the time or patience to sit down and reset 1,000 different trackers regularly. However, I'm also a sucker for processes. The more structure I have, the better I do at actually completing my tasks. The tricky part is finding a way that gives me the most structure with minimum upkeep. I started by using a single inbox page as a catch-all to distribute tasks throughout my planner, but I still felt lost and kept adding things to the wrong spots. After assigning a date and time to one task, I'd find a more pressing one to add in its place, leading to a lot of scratching things out, something I wasn't very fond of. The other week, I used my brain dump notebook to catch all the to-dos trapped in my head and on the inbox page in my Filofax. I wrote them out one by one, added deadlines to some, and assigned priority numbers to all. Lastly, I distributed them around my calendar. It is an extra step, an extra process I really didn't want to do, but it made completing my tasks feel easier. I finally had a clear visual instead of having tasks dotted around on different pages. I tend to store things in my head a lot, or I have events and tasks buried in mailboxes overrun by spam and promotions that I just don't have the time or affinity to clear. These are a sure way of missing a deadline or an important task though. I need to see them all in one place first, so I can wrap my head around the workload before they get scattered throughout the calendar. Useless notifications plague my phone too. But I can't bring myself to mute a lot of these because I feel like I might miss something important or useful one day. The only thing I find useful on my phone is the reminders anyway. I do set those for the most important deadlines or appointments, but I rarely just look at my phone calendar to see where I'm at. I much prefer my Filofax for that. So, based on the positive feelings I got from my very first go at this method, I thought I'd try making this process part of my permanent setup. I designed this new insert because I wanted to have everything in one place rather than going back and forth between 2 planners. I wanted something with 3 distinct columns that also allow for a list layout. The first column for the actual tier list, the second is where I write down the task or event itself, and the third for any applicable deadlines or urgency levels. I see these tier lists pop up everywhere, so I thought I'd give it a go, minus the grid, to make it work for my specific purpose. I'll just keep the tier list labels because it's a well-known key that anybody can use. I considered sticking to the regular priority numbers as I did the first time, like number 1 is the most urgent, and let's say number 10 is the least urgent. But I find myself having tasks that are equally important, or the opposite, they can wait some time. So I wouldn't want to say one is more important than the other. Assigning the same number to them would have been fine, but it felt like a race where some participants tied for the second or the third place. Instead, I just categorized them based on the level of priority. No one's winning or losing here. I will write down any deadlines in the third column anyway, which will help with the exact placement. I'm adding this new insert behind my inbox page so I can easily move the mess over. Some things I have written down, but some are just floating in my head, so I will need to think long and hard to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. I settled on this specific layout because the narrow columns force me to be brief with my task descriptions. If I have to write a paragraph to explain a task, that's usually a sign that I don't actually know what the first step is, and I need to break the task down further. This layout forces clarity. I'll transfer my notes one by one in no particular order, just as they come to me. I find it crucial not to prioritize in my head, but have my tasks laid out randomly first at a glance. I use different colored pens as well to differentiate the information, which helps if you're a visual learner. The distinction is clear, and I actually color code my Excel spreadsheets at work too. It's crazy how much it helps with readability. I will probably treat these inserts as a functional crutch. Discard them when the week passes and a new list needs to be made, rather than keeping the old ones in. I already keep in a lot of my past inserts. I like the idea of keeping at least the set of calendar pages in my Filofax for a full year. My habit trackers I usually archive every few months, and my master pages like contacts and tube map are staying in permanently. I can't really spare the ring space for another permanent set of inserts, and there isn't much need to keep these weekly lists for longer than a couple of weeks anyway, so I'm not feeling too bad about it. They will get archived in the same year anyway. So, does it work? Well, it just saved me 3 hours of analysis paralysis this morning alone. Now, I have to spend some time testing it to see whether I can stick to doing this every week, or maybe only use it when I have enough tasks to warrant it, or whether I'll abandon it altogether. I'd really love to stick to it, but I know myself enough to know that it's not 100% certain that I will. I usually do abandon these things quickly, but that's why I'm trying to find a way to make it easy and rewarding rather than a chore. In the beginning, it was difficult to stick to a regular calendar even, and here I stand with a few years of relatively continuous planner habits. So, never say never. But the real test isn't today. It's next week, and the week after. The real challenge is making sure I don't abandon it in 2 weeks, like I do a lot of other things. So I'm going to track this for about a month or so to see if it sticks, and I'll check back with the final verdict. If you're also someone who struggles to keep a system going, welcome. I hope you stick around so we can experiment together. I'm going to be documenting exactly how this evolves, and I'd love to know if you have a similar system or if you found a better way to catch those floating ideas before they get lost.